Hi friends, welcome to Loved by Cacao. This is a home for all of us who love cacao, to share our stories, to elevate the voice of cacao through voices from all around the world. Here we will connect the threads of light that cacao is weaving between us, from heart to heart. Thank you for being here. You might like to make yourself a delicious cup of cacao to enjoy while you listen, to tune in with this sacred medicine. I am Pania, lover and facilitator of cacao, and I invite you to step in through the door to this cozy home. Come to sit on a cushion in this circle together, and may we allow ourselves to be here, to be loved by cacao. Dear cacao friends, hello. Oh my gosh, it has been a while. I am really happy to be here with my microphone today, talking with you again, and with my cacao, of course. It has been such a long time, and gosh, I have so many things that I could share. I feel like there's so much I could talk about, but my purpose for being here with you today is to bring you this conversation with Jeff of the Cacao Embassy in Christchurch. And this was a really fun conversation, and so I'm excited to finally share it with you. It was recorded back last year on my New Zealand cacao tour, and I've already released 2 of those conversations that were recorded when I was traveling around in my motorhome and meeting up with cacao-loving, beautiful people and recording these conversations for you. So we have already had the beautiful Irma of Mama Muti Cacao in Raglan, and beautiful Rachel, who works with cacao drinking chocolate in Blenheim. And today we go to Christchurch, and this was so much fun. I rocked up to the Cacao Embassy not entirely knowing what to expect. So you're going to hear what happened in a minute. But first of all, I just want to share a couple of things briefly. Today I am drinking a Vanuatu cacao, which is actually from the Cacao Embassy in Christchurch. They work with farmers in Vanuatu and also the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea, and I love all of their cacao. I do have quite a soft spot for the Vanuatu, and I received a 2-kilo block this week, just in perfect timing for releasing this episode. So it's really been really nice to sit and drink this and tune in with this gorgeous conversation with Jeff. And yeah, and I will just say briefly that I had intended to release this a long time ago, but things happened, life happened, and winter has happened, and I don't know about you, but I have gone into such a cocoon this winter. I didn't really see it coming. I was feeling quite good in July and quite creative and outward, but something about Matariki and like shifting over into August or even late July and those short days. And I also had a couple of weeks where I was house sitting solo, and I just went into real sort of retreat mode, and it's taken me deep within in ways that I didn't really see coming. So I only just feel like I'm coming out the other side, but really kind of rediscovering who I am. So yeah, maybe I'll share more soon. But what I really want to say is that even though there may be large breaks sometimes with this podcast, my love for it really continues, and I'm here to keep it going even if it's in waves of creation. So I just want you to know that yeah, my love for cacao is something that has not left me in over 10 years, and in many ways it just continues to get stronger. So I'm keen to keep creating these conversations and episodes and releasing them for you to share in, because I really know that the conversation about cacao is actually important. It's, as those of us who love cacao know, it's not just a conversation about a food or a drink. It is so much more. It is, in its depths, a conversation about respect for that which is sacred, the sacredness of life. It is a conversation about remembering the deeper aspects that cacao connects us to, connection itself, respect, reciprocity, and love, and so much more. So this will continue, and we continue today with this really fun conversation with Jeff. So I'm really grateful I had the opportunity to speak with Jeff. He is the co-owner and operations architect at the Cacao Embassy, and we talked about so much great stuff. We talked about what they do at the Cacao Embassy, how Jeff began working there after a background as a chef, and we talked about their processes there, how they make their own blends and create with cacao, how they work with different cacao origins, his first time visiting one of the cacao farms in the Solomon Islands, so many other things like men connecting with cacao and healing with it, the impact of working with cacao farmers, what it's like for him running the Cacao Embassy with his family, because his beautiful wife Ngawai works there as well. And hint hint, we have another special guest coming in the next episode, which might be Ngawai. And also their children work with them there as well. So it's a really beautiful, unique setup. And yeah, like I said, I rocked up not quite knowing what to expect. So how this came about is I contacted Oonagh of the Cacao Ambassador, who created the Cacao Embassy, and I asked her if she would be there when I was down, or if anybody from the embassy could talk with me for the podcast. And I had hoped to have Oonagh on too, but she was about to pop off to Papua New Guinea, so she said, I think you should talk with Jeff and come when you, tell me when you can come and I'll set it up. So I told her my day. She said, yep, she'll come along. I'll tell Jeff. So we hadn't actually met before this day, and he didn't really know what to expect either. But I tell you what, I pulled in with my big motorhome into their parking lot. As soon as I opened the door, I could smell cacao, from the parking lot. And I walked in and I just felt so welcomed straight away. It's a beautiful, warm place. They have a little area you can sit out the front where you can enjoy a cacao, you can chat, you can purchase their different cacao pastes and beans and other products, and they make it all in the back. So it's kind of a cacao factory in the back, and they bring in loads and loads and loads of beans and paste and cacao into that facility, and they make it into beautiful pastes and send it out. And other people also purchase wholesale of them and create products under their own label around the country. So they're a really big hub for New Zealand when it comes to good quality cacao. So I loved being there. As you can imagine, I ended up being there for 5 hours approximately, 2 days in a row, drinking a lot of cacao, talking a lot. And for this conversation, Jeff and I sat upstairs above where they work with all the cacao. So, and it was quite a big room, and it was a little echoey, and there's a bit of background noise. So just to let you know, if you hear some background noise, it's probably people working with cacao downstairs. It might also be the gym next door, but we were in the city, and you do what you can do. So I think it was really fun to actually be in such a hub of cacao while recording this. And yeah, I just really hope you enjoy it. And I want to say a huge thank you to Jeff for having this conversation with me, because it was really fun, and it was so nice to meet someone through conversation in this way. And so make yourself a cup of cacao and get cozy, and here we go. Hello. I am here with Jeff at the Cacao Embassy in Christchurch, Aotearoa.
Yes.
And we have some beautiful cacao in front of us. And thank you, Jeff, for saying yes and coming on Loved by Cacao.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm grateful that you said yes, because it's something that you didn't quite know that you were going to be doing today, but just jumping in there. So I'm excited to learn more about your story with cacao and about the embassy as well. So yeah, we have this beautiful blend made by your daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I'm going to bring us in with a little blessing before we get into the conversation.
Awesome.
So anyone listening, if you want to join us with a cacao, feel free. And yeah, I really want to start off with some gratitude for this moment and for meeting you, and for the beautiful beans that come from the Pacific Islands, which are in this cup. So maybe we can just take a little breath into gratitude for what we're holding, and just thinking about the beautiful farmers who grew these beans, and that they've come all the way here to be with us in this place that really holds a lot of love for cacao. I can feel it. And yeah, breathing into that beautiful world of connection and love that I feel is embodied in what you guys do here. And just feeling the love of cacao coming into the space, the nourishment, beautiful blessings that she offers us. And maybe we can tune into if we have any intention for sharing with this cup and this conversation. My intention is to be present with this moment, to listen and receive stories and connect, and be really aware of the deliciousness that we'll drink here. Feel free to share if you have any intentions coming through.
Yeah, thankfulness. I just really thankful for this time. Thankful to be able to share this beautiful blend of Eiru. And the Eiru is a blend that we took to Ireland, and I was so thankful that I was able to go. And hoping, our friends in Ireland will be listening. And just feeling the gratitude of this time, this space, and really being able to, even though I was aware that you were coming, that just to really seize the moment and to be ready, just to be, whatever we discuss, and I'm thankful for that, Pania. So thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Blessings. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Let's enjoy this deliciousness. Oh wow. Eiru. It's my first time trying this one. I've had some other blends from here before, but wow.
Yeah, it's real interesting, because each time I drink it, I get different flavour profiles from it, because there is dandelion root, there is Celtic salt from Ireland,
Wow.
there is marigold from Ireland, there is the mead, so the honey mead, and and obviously the beautiful paste from PNG. So yeah, it's and actually one thing that we had been doing, which Ngawai, my beautiful wife, who's downstairs, the other day she was cutting it up and had it on a plate, and people would come and eat it raw. Which is really interesting. It's something like, I was like, really? And then people were buying it, tasting it just raw. And so, yeah, which is something I didn't really think about, eating raw cacao. So now there are people eating raw cacao, and the Eiru is beautiful because there is so many different. What's the taste?
Yeah, the first thing that hit me was the salt. I was like, oh wow, I didn't realise that it had salt in it, but and I was like, it tastes like quite salty, but when you say it's from Ireland, it kind of makes sense. It's like a Celtic sea salt, is it?
Yep. Has wakame, I think it is. Is that how they say it? Wakame, like the seaweed as well.
Oh,
there.
okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's almost like there's a little bit of ocean, you know, it's like bringing through the ocean.
Yeah.
I love that. Wow. The ocean in Ireland.
Very much so.
Gosh, so that first, I need to take another sip. Like malt, some kind of maltiness. And quite earthy as well. I really like it. I think the salt surprised me at first, and I was like, oh, is it too salty? But actually, now that I'm really tasting it, it's really delicious.
Yeah. And in Ireland, they like to put a bit of mead in it at the end, which totally transforms the taste of it as well.
Yeah,
again.
Sure.
So it's, I think a few people put a bit too much mead in it, but
okay. So does it already have a little bit of meat?
It has a little bit of meat in it, yeah. But they're a little bit extra in there just at the end, really, it just changes the whole profile again. But raw, eating it raw, it tastes different.
Yeah.
Having it like this. So it's an interesting blend. It's one of our latest blends that we've done, but we've been obviously sending a lot over to Ireland as well, and it just seems to be one of the most popular over there, so which makes sense. But
so there's quite a connection here with like the islands,
yes.
New Zealand, Ireland. It's quite a global drink.
Yeah, well, we've two of the partners is Mark, who's from Ireland.
Okay.
So he's just from Armagh, and which is close to Northern Ireland, but so he's from there. And then Oonagh, which you have had on a previous podcast. She's from Ireland as well. So that's the connection there. And so I think it was like about maybe 5 to 10 years that she had been working with something and knowing that there's going to be a blend, and this is it. So it's taken a bit of time, but it's just sitting with it and what is it going to have in it. And it also has smoked oak. So we smoke the cacao as well.
Yes, right.
So there's a smoky flavour to it.
Now that you say that, I'm like, of course. Yeah. I can taste that.
Yeah. And then the battens that we have are from Weave, which we work together with, and that's they're a bit they're naughty because
a little stick of chocolate with
a little stick of chocolate
sugar.
just to add a bit to it, but yeah. So.
Wow, yeah, it's feeling very decadent.
Yes. Yeah, I think this is my third cacao for the day. So.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm tasting cacao all day, so it's quite it's because when you're making the blends and then we're tasting. I mean, I always say to people, taste as you go. Like when you make anything, is if you were to make a cacao blend at home, is taste it as you adding ingredients, so you can see how that profile's changing, rather than just making it and then go at the end and unaware of where things changed.
That makes sense.
It goes all the way along. And I used to do it with, say, make a soup. You put something in it, you taste it, you add some herb, you taste that, and so you can see what's working and what's not working, or where you need to change. because then you can pivot from wherever, if something's too strong or not strong enough or needs more flavouring.
So you do that as you're making the cacao blends?
Yeah, I mean, it's watching it all the time.
Yeah.
And they change over time. They change even in production, and they also change even over time, months. We'll sometimes I'll do little test samples just to see the profile changes. And yeah, they do change. And some of them change, like, can be really, because the beans change all the time, the flavour. And for me, I was a chef, and it would be like new season carrots. New season fresh carrots are really sweet and they're succulent. And then you get the end of the season and they're not horse carrots, but they change. And
not as sweet.
And I was a bit of a, I use the word ignoramus about chocolate and cacao, because I just used chocolate as a commodity ingredient for making desserts. I couldn't really answer where chocolate came from if someone had asked me that question.
Yeah.
It was just really buy chocolate, make a mousse, make a cake, cacao. It was just ingredients. There weren't really any connection or awareness of where that came from. So it's been a journey. It's certainly been a journey to where I am today.
Yeah, I'm very curious how you got here. How did you get interested in chocolate or cacao?
Yeah, well, how did that happen? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm just so what happened is I went to a breath work.
Oh, yes.
And I always thought this was weird. I mean, paying to learn how to breathe. I'm sort of a bit dubious about things, prior to sort of coming into these areas of modalities, So I was like, why are we paying to learn how to breathe? And
It
so,
does seem weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was really strange. And a beautiful sister, a friend of ours, Shalita, she was,
I've met Shalita.
yeah, she had a breath work, and so we were attending this breath work, and they sat down, and before they started, they said, "Look, we're going to serve some cacao." And I was like, well, to be honest, I didn't know what is cacao? Is it powder? Is it? So they hand out this cup of cacao, and so I was sitting there, and I partook of it and drank it. And as I was taking it, I just started to cry.
Oh, wow.
I just sort of started to tear up. And, I can even feel, just talking about it, the waters of my body vibrating, and, I can feel the tears starting to come forward now.
Yeah.
It's like a remembrance in time and the impact of that. And I was like, what is going on? What's wrong with me? I was like, what are they serving this thing, And I was just shocked. I was sort of like, trying to pull myself together on it, and may I probably say a typical man at that time, not wanting to show weakness, but because crying used to be seen as a weakness, but it really impacted me. And so did the breath work, and it was beautiful and real transformative in many ways. But I suppose to answer your question, the initial thing was this cacao.
Yeah.
And so one day, Oonagh actually rang us, and we bumped into her somewhere, and she suggested that we come and meet her here at it was called the Cacao Embassy, the embassy, which is, in Christchurch, Ōtautahi. And so we came in and popped in, and she was sort of just asking, what were we doing? And
we being you and your wife,
me and Ngawai, and so she was sort of like, well, I've got a retail space downstairs, and we're looking for someone, and so it was really about Ngawai, and so she just, she thought, well, this is great, I get to talk to people and connect, and she's really great at doing that, like she just has she's really open to listen to people, she's welcoming, people come in here and they just want to connect, and so have cacao, and so it was beautiful. And so anyway, now I just sort of had said that, and so she got a job here. So
Cool.
that was
Yeah.
really cool. And then, to be fair, I think, according to Ngawai's words, is, she had said to Oonagh, if you really want someone to bring some experience into the place, you should bring, Jeff's the one to really, bring some experience in if you're looking at doing things within the production area. And so, there were people in there and they were part-time and that was fine,
Yeah.
And then Oonagh asked me and said, look, would you be open to a possibility of coming in and, just come in and see if you'd like to come and work here part-time.
Yeah.
And I was
Is this with your chefing experience?
with my chefing experience. So I've done chefing, I've done production, I've done distribution.
Oh, wow.
I have done
all the right things for this
yeah,
kind of
I've done
business.
trucking with the trucking distribution side of food, with food safety, all those areas. So
Yeah.
I've been in food all my life. So I thought, well, I'd had 18. I think I took about 18 months off from the prior position that I was in, and I just needed to have a break. I'd got a lot of self-worth out of my job and my position. We've got 5 adult children now,
Oh,
but
wow.
5 children,
Yeah.
so, being a man and feeling like being the provider, there's a lot of pressure on men to provide, to the fact where sometimes they'll go even beyond their own desires just to provide, to find a job, and I get that. It's to put food on the table, to pay rent, all these things, or a mortgage. It's really tough out there for people, and but it came to the point where I actually need to take care of myself. So
Right.
we sold our home.
Okay.
We went and rented.
Yeah.
We went on a holiday overseas,
Oh.
and we took all our family away because we thought this is a really good time. They're growing up. There's going to be a time when they're going to have their own partners and do their own life, and so we saw it as an optimum time to just connect as a family.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So it was beautiful. But that doesn't work forever, and money slowly gets burning through, and so really I was open to an opportunity, and I just really sort of said to the universe, look, if there's a position there, someone will come and share, make an offer for me. And that was Oonagh. She said that, and she said, would you be open to this? And so I heard the call. And so that was the beginning of coming into the Cacao Embassy. So it was interesting. Coming into a business that's all women as the first male.
Right, the very first one.
Very first male. That was interesting.
And I'm sure your previous workplaces probably hadn't been that way.
No, a lot of them were, but actually in different situations it was very... I was surrounded by a lot of women, usually, but it had been a while since that, so that was really beautiful, but I just came in to learn. I didn't know anything about cacao, so it was really time to learn from... there was obviously Oonagh and her experience, and in chefing I found learning is to get beside whoever and learn everything that they can and do everything as they would do it, not trying to do something myself, but to do exactly like they do it. And then once you do that, then and you show that you can actually do the task to how they would desire that, and then you can start implementing your own techniques or little tweaks or things that you see, and there's a trust, because then they know, okay, you can do what we want you to do, how we're doing it, and then it was bringing in my chef experience and a bit of industrial experience with a production, working with another production business that my friend and I had. And so then we were able to start to increase the production and use, the ladies were really awesome, but you know, they've got some machinery and they were really gentle with it, you know. And I'm like, well, this can actually step it up a little bit. So, which it did. And so then we were able to produce more, which meant that we were able to supply a lot quicker. We were sort of like, orders would come in and we would make the orders and send them out. When I came in, I created stock, and so people would ring and then the orders would go out. So it was a big turnaround for the business, and in a good way. It was positive. It was, and there was nothing wrong with the other way. Everything, you know, there's not a lot of stock just sitting on the shelf, but there was more when I came in, and so you could place an order and get your order, and so cacao was getting to people quicker, and then out of my food distribution experience, the communication, Oonagh was, which she's, you know, you're aware of, she was a lot on the islands working with the farmers and working in the different, you know, Vanuatu and the Solomons and Papua New Guinea. And so she was, for a lot of her time, away.
Yeah.
So a lot of the
people here.
Yeah, she had people here, and that was beautiful. But then if there was a response needed from her, there was always a time delay of getting that information to and fro. So being on board here, it was a great learning curve for me. And then Oonagh suggested that maybe I'd like to come to the islands. And so, wow, that just... And when we say come to the islands, it's not a holiday. It is, you know, people go, oh, it's, you know, sitting on the beach with your feet up and rubbing sun cream on your body. And this ain't... No.
I'm sure you were very busy.
Yeah, it was. It's some big days. And so the first adventure, which we call it, was I went to the Solomons. There were people from Ireland, from England, from New Zealand, a lot from New Zealand predominantly.
And this is to do like a tour and connecting in with the farmers.
And connect with the trees, the farmers.
Yes.
And I mean, you know, it's like sitting, the first opportunity where we got to one of the farms with Grace, which I think
Grace has been on
Grace
the podcast.
has been on the podcast. We arrived at Grace's, and so we were told to close our eyes and go. So we went past all the cacao trees because Grace wanted to take us down there.
Oh, how sweet!
So that was really cute. So we weren't allowed to sort of, you know, we're like, okay, you got to all cover your eyes, and so and it sort of was like. So we went down to meet Grace, and it's beautiful. I mean, Grace is such an inspiration. You know, to plant trees, I think it's 60 years old, and to have that vision. And now she's 70, and she has a cacao farm, and people come and see what you know, like we had the opportunity to do. And she is an inspiration. So we got to stay there, and it's really funny. Perspective is everything. First day, everyone's like, "Oh, this is pretty rough here." Right. You know, you're sort of like a valley. We're all sleeping in one big open area, covered. The beach is there. You know, the sea's coming in, nice cool breeze coming through, and everyone's like, "It's pretty rough," you know. But then when you go into the villages, really deep into the villages, when we came back, everyone was like, "Oh, Grace's house is beautiful. This is amazing.
Oh, wow.
This is." So it's nothing. It's just perspective.
Yeah.
You know,
the villages
and the villages is a little bit different because you're going deep into areas that you know, 2 to 3, 4 hours driving, and when we're saying driving, we're not talking into nice roads. We're talking into really rough 4-wheel drive.
Oh wow, gosh!
And it's beautiful. You know, you come into these areas where it looks like nothing, and then all of a sudden there's these beautiful villages. You know, there's people running around. There's you know, children laughing and playing, and it's total village life. And the experience that we had in that life is that they don't. A lot of them don't consume their own cacao.
Right. Yeah. That's what I've heard from Oonagh and from Grace and Agnes speaking, and it really, like, my heart felt so sad to hear that because, you know, that's what it's just such a shame to farm something and not consume it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really interesting. I mean, when I think about it, it's like there's this disconnection between us here in say Christchurch or New Zealand, and the farming community. It's like,
Right.
if I use myself, I can speak from myself, as ignorant about where cacao comes from. But then also in the islands, they didn't know really where the cacao is being used.
Right.
They just saw it as a cash crop, or they called it white man's food. You know, they'd have the beans, they'd send them away, and they'd get money for it.
Yeah.
But when you see that this connection that Oonagh has created between the two, like, as you know, Oonagh's brought a lot of them into New Zealand so that they can come around and see how we consume chocolate and how much we consume chocolate and cacao. And I'm sure that would have been amazing for them to see.
Yes.
And then for us to be able to go back into the islands and see what the farming is doing and where the trees are and what they do. I mean, to see a cacao pod is like, as a chef or someone who sees a commodity, an ingredient, and it was just really like, I was overwhelmed. I was like surprised. I didn't even know what to expect of a cacao tree. And here we have on the tree, and I call it the miracle tree, because here we have little pods, little flowers. We have full grown pods on the tree, and it's like it has an ongoing, they have a main season, but they've got this ongoing growing all the time. If you think about apples, you get one season of apples a year.
That's right.
But these are constantly, if they look after them, are always producing. And
Like
so
there's the flowers and the pods at different stages all at once.
all on the same tree. And I was like super surprised. And I mean, I suppose there's that intentionality as a farmer. And, you know, when you talk about Agnes, for example, you know, we were on her farm and, you know, and here she is singing to her trees.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, oh my goodness. And she started singing and it was like, wow. You know, and her farm, there's just so many trees, but they're flourishing so amazing. But her heart, and to sing, I remember, and this is the intentionality. This is a really good lesson for me. But I remember one time I'd cook food, and now I would say, "Oh, I won't be having tea tonight," and I was like, "Why's that? You know, this is delicious food." You know, she goes, "Oh, you were angry when you made it."
Oh gosh.
And I'm not going to be eating your angry food. And I was like, wow.
Ouch.
Ouch, yeah. Yeah, the old ego gets a bit, you know, but yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of studies on, you know, speaking to food and the intentionality, you know, of doing it with rice. I know there's been the studies with rice, good rice, bad rice, and how you speak to rice and how the rice responds, how you speak to food. So coming back to Agnes, you know, seeing her sing, you know, seeing Grace love on her trees and coming through, and the way that the joy that she brings and into her farm is beautiful. And I encourage anyone that you know loves cacao and wants to see people that really have beautiful intention, and you've talked to them, and you know, there are opportunities when, you know, you can actually go to their farm. And if that's something that people feel like, man, I say go, because it's pretty incredible.
How was it for you to connect with the trees? Did you?
Yeah, that's a good.
Meeting them?
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, I just leaned up against the trees, sat there with the pods. And it was beautiful. It was like being in paradise. You know, it was just to try cacao, like to actually, you know, they would get and it's so funny because, you know, it's just natural for them. You know, they'll grab some pods and cut it down, and crack them and open them, and you know, it's just like. And just to see them in their natural, how Grace and Agnes, they would do that. And even Agnes's dad, who's a master of pruner, you know, and how he looks after the trees. But yeah, to taste them, the flavour is incredible. Have you had?
Like are you talking about the
fruit?
Yeah. The pulpy bits on the outside of the seed. Yeah, I love it. It's amazing.
Incredible. Yeah.
I haven't had it in the Pacific, but in Central America, South America, I got to. Just so like sweet and sour and fruity and all the. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's hard to explain the flavour.
It is, yeah. I struggle to, I sort of think pawpaw, a little bit of pine, like the whole.
It's like a mix.
It's like a whole mixture of this beautiful flavour, and a lot of the, as you were probably aware, that a lot of them eat the outside but don't eat the seed. For the flavour.
Well, the
kids
seed's
will eat it.
very bitter.
Yeah, well, it makes you. I think they say that it'll give you a crook tummy if you eat too many of them.
I have eaten them straight out of the pod, but
Yeah.
just a couple at a time.
Yeah, I had a couple too. I had to try it.
Yeah.
And I was all right, but it is amazing to see and to participate in that. And actually, I do know that there are people now that are actually taking the pulp and then putting it in little. You can buy the pulp now, and they have a little sachet. It came out
like dehydrating or something.
No, it's in its liquid. It was
okay.
we were in the Melbourne chocolate show, and they had some there. They were handing them out as samples, and they were amazing. Like, they were delicious. So, that was it's pretty incredible to taste the cacao, be with the trees, sit there, and I felt really honoured that I could have that opportunity.
Amazing.
And to see these beautiful people making cacao without electricity. Like Grace is making it all. Yeah. They're picking them, they're fermenting them, they're drying them, they're roasting them on the fire, they're pounding them into a paste by hand.
Yes.
So it's all Grace, for example, it's all from that, and then they're making these beautiful cacao for people to buy, and it's incredible with no electricity.
Is that because they live with no electricity, or they just don't have it where they're
They have a
producing
little bit of
cacao?
electricity,
Okay.
but and they do have a generator that they use a little bit, but most of it is lights on, sundown, lights off.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing, and it's a life that is all new to us because we're so lucky to be able to. Lucky? Maybe not lucky. It's probably the wrong word, I'd say, if I can retract that. I'd say we are used to having these luxuries that are to be able to do that. But,
Wow, so I love hearing stories about people who work with food and medicine. Like it's more than a food.
Yes.
Who actually connect with the origins of where it comes from. Like that's probably quite rare in the chefing world, and it's beautiful to. And you were talking about like the joy that the farmers at Grace and Agnes bring to their plants. I feel that here as well. That like there's a sense of joy with the embassy. I just even picked that up, like looking at things online with you guys, and just I don't know. There's just a sense of that. Do you feel that in the workplace here? Is there just cacao emanate?
Yeah.
Or,
I don't know if I should be apologising for online stuff, but it's. I agree with you. Yeah, I really liked. I like to have fun. I think, I'm 55. And I, you learn some things as you get older, and especially when you have adult children, they certainly teach you a lot.
I bet.
Yeah, they become the teachers.
Yeah.
I think we love to have fun. There is the medicinal side of things. I mean, food is our medicine. Every food has a medicinal quality. Every food, every plant has a medicinal quality. I remember listening to an Indian guru, I can't remember his name, but he said every plant has a healing for something in your body. The only thing he said is you have to find out which plant is for what part of your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he didn't tell you, but that was. But so cacao is a medicine. It is, and one of the things that they say it's heart opening. And I can only speak to that for myself. Like when I was sharing about the breath work, the opening of my heart in relation to that, and the feeling that I had of quite overwhelmed. So that was there from that point. But coming back, cacao also, there's fun in it. We love chocolate. We love because chocolate is cacao with sugar. You know, the true cacao and the true chocolate is as simple like what we've had today. The weave is beautiful, which is done by, you know, the people that we're partnering with, including Oonagh, where it's just coconut sugar and the full bean of cacao. So
yeah, weave chocolate is the name of it.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So that's kind of like you have this Cacao Ambassador.
Yes.
And then the embassy is the Christchurch base.
Yes. Yep.
And then there's weave cacao or weave chocolate, which is more for making chocolate, or I guess people can use it in baking and things like that.
Yeah, they make a couverture chocolate, which is, you know, chefs can use for all their baking, and like you're saying, we just were up in Auckland and they had a Mousse Masters.
Oh yeah,
which
Noah was telling me a little bit, but
which you can look online and see on the Weave site, and they had some incredible mousses being made by people from all around New Zealand. Really fortunate to have some amazing judges coming on. Peter Gordon was the head judge, Emma was there, Amber was there so she was also there to judge. We had Sperian, one of the farmers from the islands, so he had come over as well. And funny, because when he did his presentation, he said, "I don't know what mousse is," which is so funny. And so it was a learning for him as well.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful for him to share with these chefs that of this level and calibre about his experience as a farmer and what that's like. So it was learning for both in relation to that. So yes, so the weave, they made some beautiful mousses, incredible.
So it was like a competition where everyone was using the weave cacao or the weave chocolate to make their own style of mousse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they made a mousse and they got to send their. They basically sent their recipes in. It was all taken down to a certain number of people. Those people that were got to that level came up to Auckland to make the mousse as part of the competition, and then present it. And I think they presented 4 plates, one couple for the judge and a couple on the side, and and it was amazing. You know, like it was incredible. I mean, major work. I mean, Mark, one of our team here, he was there doing the food. They had Tish from part of the Weave team who had put a lot of effort into it to put it together.
Wow.
It was a really beautiful collaboration, and I just again felt really honoured that I could be up there and be part of that, just to be there. Noah and I were up there. We ate a lot of mousse, a lot of mousse. I think I haven't eaten as much mousse in my life, even though I made mousse. As a chef, I was like, I'm over mousse for a little bit. I'm coming back. I can have some mousse now, but it was it was really, really amazing. So again, another collaboration. You know, the farmers, the Cacao Ambassador. The embassy was there, Weave were there, so and the whole Weave team was up there as well. So it was really amazing. That's the that was the thing about the mousse.
So has cacao taken over your life?
Has cacao taken over my life?
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
in a good way.
I think working
life.
Yeah, it has. I think what I really love about what I'm doing now is I'm doing something with really good ethics. I know in a lot of the business side now, people want to attach to an ethical business who are impacting in a way ethically. I just felt that, I really felt from a medicinal point of view, I love the idea. When I learnt about the farming community and the connection that Oonagh has, from the Cacao Ambassador connects with that, I was like, wow, this is really... And to actually go and see it, you know, because that's where, you know, what is it? That's the proof, you know, proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
Is when you, no pun intended with most, but when you really get to see the impact that you're having on the people. One of the opportunities we had, because we went as a group when we went to PNG, was there were 200 women.
Wow.
And they were there wanting to learn how to basically make cacao with no power. So,
Local women.
Yeah,
right?
local women, yeah. And so these were the farmers' wives.
Okay.
And so they wanted to be, they really wanted to learn. They came with pen and paper and taking notes, and it was just really incredible. And we had lots of the team there. We were able to, they sort of broke off into different groups. And it was amazing just to see, their eagerness to learn. I mean, there were people that would walk 7 hours to come and hear.
Wow.
People that walk over mountains.
That's big dedication, my goodness.
Yeah, and they just turned up and they were there, and they were really, and like I said, it's a bit overwhelming. I mean, I don't know if I'd walk 8 hours to go and learn something.
Yeah, wow.
But these people they were really there to learn. But in this particular situation, these ladies were there and they were wanting to learn, and it was really funny. Part of it was, so we get the beans and we roast them, and so they all participate in this. It's really beautiful to see. So they're actually hands-on.
Wow.
And so we were lighting these fires, and we had 7 different fires going, and everyone's roasting them, and each team member is sort of, doing their best to do what they need to do, and then we peel them. So they put out banana leaves, and we peel the beans and make the husks, and we make husk tea for them. We get the cacao, and then we pound it, and so we pound them, and that's a lot of hard work. I must say, most of the ladies are the best at pounding cacao. Most of the big men struggle to pound cacao. It's really funny.
Is it a bit humbling?
Yeah, it is a bit humbling. You get these big muscly guys, and I'll go, buddy, come over here, and feel his arms and get them to pound, and they help. They definitely, they want to help. They want to participate, but then they're like, oh, it's enough, and then you'll get one of the ladies come in, and they will just keep going and pounding and pounding, and it's amazing. But so we make a paste, and then in that paste we go right. So they bring fresh coconuts, which is amazing. Some of the ladies will make some coconut cream. They'll husk it and make the cream. They'll get raw cane sugar and squeeze out the cane sugar. And so we make this, cacao.
Yeah.
Coconut cream, coconut milk, water, with cane sugar. And we put it in the pot and we heat it up. And in this particular situation, because we sort of it's hard to make a lot of it, but we thought we'd made a pot and we'd made it all up. And I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to show everyone this. There's all these people wanting to check. And so we had it in an old big kettle. And so I had a reasonably large cup, and I was holding it. We'd made it. And so I held the cup, the kettle to pour it, and I lifted as high as I could to allow it to just flow like a waterfall.
Wow.
And 200 women all at the one time went, Milo! Which is funny, And I mean, Milo's a trigger word for some people, I think, with cacao. But the beauty of it was that
hilarious.
They were, one of the guys, Dave, there, he just said that was his priceless moment, to hear everyone think that's the amazing. And it was beautiful. And they get to try it, and they get to make it. And it's really like you can make it. And I use the analogy, it's like the Irish eating potato chips, but not knowing that it comes from the potatoes they grow.
Right. Yeah.
If they were to go, well, where do these chips come from? I don't know, and someone goes, do you know they're actually from the potatoes that you're growing?
Yeah, that would be quite
it
weird.
Would be like sort of, and that's what you can see something change.
Yeah.
Where they're going, so you're telling me that that what we're growing, is this what we're buying? So they'll buy little sachets, Oonagh's probably mentioned it, but they'll buy little sachets of Milo that you might get at, say, at a motel when you go in to stay.
Right.
You get the little tea or Milo sachets.
Yeah, and I just want to say for anyone who doesn't know what Milo is, because if someone's listening overseas, they might not know. It's like a very sugary chocolate powder kind of drink. It's very commercial, and I grew up with it in New Zealand. Maybe you did as
yes,
well.
I did as well. Yeah.
That's what we knew as chocolate drink, but it's not really chocolate.
No.
And it's and they drink a lot of it in the islands, don't they?
Yeah.
They ship it in.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking a 2-hour ride on a 4-wheel drive into the rough areas, and here they are with sachets of Milo. The kids are drinking
And they could be drinking their own cacao beans.
and their own cacao beans is right there.
Yeah.
They're growing them, and yet they're paying, I think, if I'm right, I think it's right, it's about 5 kina for a sachet of Milo.
Wow.
And so the kids are eating them raw, I used to
Eat it by the
eat
spoonful.
spoonfuls.
I did that as well.
Yeah, of Milo. Oh no, we won't beep it. That's just me being silly. But so they, they're even eating noodles, and they're eating, and this is in really remote places.
Wow.
And so a lot of the older generation are concerned about these quick foods that they haven't had, because they've got beautiful vegetables and fruits. I mean, it's the first time I've seen a pineapple grow on a tree, which is on the ground.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that a pineapple? And here I am, a chef. They're going, yeah, that's how they grow. And I'm like, really? I didn't know they grow
On the
like
spiky bush.
Yeah, the spiky bush and low. And I'm like, wow. And even seeing fresh cashews on a tree.
Oh, I've never seen cashews.
And they're like the size of my finger.
Yeah,
and then they dry them. And there's only sort of one out of every little seed that grows on there. And I mean, I can eat a tree of these in a movie, like you sort of, when you realise that, it made me appreciate, seeing these foods growing. And yes, beautiful that they get to, have them there. But I think that, I don't have, the appreciation for what goes forward for the food that we eat, even as, like I said, even as a chef.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times is, coming back to the ethics, people want to be involved with an ethical business, and they want to know that what is the ethics of the business, where do you source it? Chefs are going from, meat will be, say, farm, gate to plate, or, farm to, everyone's really starting to be a lot more aware of where our food comes from. But then also now they're wanting to know, the ethics behind it, and who's growing it, and, what's the impact of the money that you're spending. So, so part of that with Oonagh and her work with the ambassador was that, was her doing that work on the ground with really remote areas. And here's this Irish lady going into the islands by herself, working with these beautiful people and sharing knowledge. And I was like, wow, I want to be part of this.
Yeah.
I want to be part of this. I really want to have a part of that, because I really believed. And I not just believed, I saw it happening.
Yeah.
And so, at the time now we're recording, we'll, Sunday, which is only a few days away, we'll be going off to PNG. And so we'll Papua New Guinea, and we'll be going into other areas and seeing places and people that haven't eaten their own cacao.
Yeah.
Or, seeing what we're doing. So I've seen it quite a few times, but it still amazes me when people see it and they drink it in the islands, and you see them light up. You see the connection. It's just
it must
beautiful.
be something to see.
Yeah,
because going back to that moment when all the women said Milo, like that, it's like they're realising where it actually comes from, right? It's like they're making the connection. Not so much that they think you're pouring Milo, but it's like the connection of like, oh, now we get it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
is that
that's exactly it? And it's that connection, like I said, when they connect with that.
Yeah.
That now they have the ability to actually produce their own cacao drink.
Yeah, like now we can make it.
Yeah.
We don't have to buy Milo.
Don't have to buy Milo.
Yeah.
And so they can put their money to other areas that they choose to.
Yeah.
Because it is very expensive to spend their money on that when it's actually there.
Yes.
So I think here, not a lot of people grow gardens anymore, for example. A lot of people will just buy from the supermarket. You ask kids where do apples come from, and they say from the supermarket.
Yeah.
You know, because people might not have trees at home. I grew up and there were gooseberries and trees of, you know, feijoa trees and apples, and you know, like it was incredible. And Dad would be gardening, and so you'd go and eat fruit and vegetables from there. Whereas a lot of people don't have the time to do that. Most parents are both working. It might be grandparents might have a garden, and it might be deemed as an old thing for older people. But it's actually a lack of knowing, and that's that disconnection that we're starting to have here of where does our food come from. Yeah. So in relation to the cacao, I mean, it's really beautiful because the kids over there, they love it. You know, they love drinking the drink. They're like, you know, their cups are going out, and you know, we might be making about maybe 4 to 5 litres of amongst a village.
Wow.
So everyone's wanting it, and they're all tasting it and sharing it, and you know, you see the village. A lot of the women are really connected to it. The men are sort of in the background watching, but the women are there. But the kids are in. They are.
They know what's good for them.
They know what's good for them. You know, they're eating because we'll have them ask if they can prepare some fruit, and part of the when we get the cacao and we peel them, the kids love to peel them. You know, they participate in them,
cool.
And so they're getting memory of what they're doing, and then we'll break up the nibs by hands, and we'll put them over fresh pawpaw or pineapple or bananas, and then the kids are eating them, and they're just like. You know, it's so funny, you hold the trays out and the hands are coming in, everyone's grabbing them and eating them, and, you know, they're really getting the nutrient value of these beautiful beans from their trees, from their cacao trees.
Amazing. This is one of the reasons that I love cacao, is I feel that part of its medicine is to help us remember our connection with the earth, and the fact that you're all there, like literally helping people remember what's growing right next to them. And yeah, it's like, that's actually the real version of that, getting people to really connect. And I think that's why it's exciting to remind people where their food comes from, because it's like reminding us where we come from. It's, you know, that we're all connected.
And we are. I mean, I always say we're this amazing designed being. And we're fueled by what goes into our mouth. And, you know, so, you know, we are what we eat. We're fueled by what we eat. And a business partner of mine says you don't put rubbish fuel into your car. You know, because you know what's going to happen to that car. And he always used to say that, and I used to think, you know, like in relation to that. But then more so the awareness of what we put into our own mouth and the food. But knowing where it comes from, knowing, you know, that it's grown. I had a whole group of friends come around to our house, and a very good friend of mine, a chef of many years, and you know, I sort of we asked him to give thanks for the food, and you know, I wouldn't call him you know, like, you know, judging him. I'm just saying judging. I wouldn't have called him a very spiritual man, but actually he's a very spiritual man. And he just opened it with, thank you for the many hands that have touched this food, from the ground to picking, to, you know, from the whole way through, he said, the hundreds of people. And when you think about that with the food that we prepare and that we have in our fridges, or we cook at home, or what, you know, if it's something we've grown or whether it's something we've bought, there've been so many hands that have prepared or been part of that preparation, and the gratitude and the thankfulness of that was beautiful.
Wow.
And it was, beautiful. I was actually, basically I was just taken back. I was like, and the awareness that it brought to me from what he'd said was, really moved me and touched me. And I was like, wow. And I've certainly used that prayer many a time now, and bringing that awareness in to all of us. and like you've said there, thank you, that knowing from where that food comes from. But being part of that in the island with the cacao trees and these children and the impact. One beautiful thing is we went to this village where we had to walk down the river, and we got to the village, and these 3 young girls, they must have been about 5, 6 and 8 or something like that, just followed us. Here we are, these people from wherever, and so they followed us to a village, and they participated. They were peeling. They were the most engaged out of anyone.
Oh wow!
And then when we're leaving, they said, "Oh, who can?" Because part of it is they give you, as a guest, they bought for what we brought, which is just us. But they, and I'm not trying to diminish that as nothing, but from humbly just being able to be available there, they had this beautiful fruit. And so we were like, and they said, would anyone like to help? So these 3 girls carried all this fruit with us all the way back to our car. And we got talking to them, and they said, so you guys from that village? And they go, no, we're from the house that you passed. We saw you, and we wanted to learn what you were doing. And it was so sweet in the eyes. And Oonagh looked at them, and she said to one of the ladies that are in the area, that they come and they collect the beans from the area. She had known the family that was there, which was really beautiful. And Oonagh said, when I come back, I'll come and see you, to these girls. And you could see in their eyes, them just beaming, and really just smiling, and they're standing up straight, and that they were seeing. And I know from my experience, from when Oonagh does say we'll come back, she does go back. So one village we went to, which we're going to in PNG, they said we're going, she said to them, we'll come back. And we are, that's on this plan, so we're going back.
Yeah.
And they're incredible. The people that were there, and this is where the people walked many hours to come to and they were asking all different types of questions. They came with really amazing questions about their plants, about their trees, about what they, that they took the opportunity to ask some really beautiful questions and just turn up. They showed up. But we are returning back to them. Oonagh said we'll come back, and so we are. And we're bringing a whole group of people with us, and to have that experience. And in Papua New Guinea.
How long are you going for?
We're going for about 3-4 weeks. So,
amazing.
Yeah, so the group that comes in will do about 10 days.
Okay.
But we'll be going to doing other trainings with different groups of people. And again, I feel honoured and to be participating in that. So, yeah. So
does someone else run the embassy while you're gone? Or?
Yeah, well, that's we're really fortunate. This is a bit of a family business.
Yeah.
So Ngawai and I, obviously, Ngawai's out the front in the retail side. Adea, who made our beautiful cacao, she comes in and she makes beautiful cacao and works with Mum, or she'll be here and she helps out the back, and she loves cooking and baking and all of those things. So that's really incredible.
Your teenage daughter.
Yeah. And then my 2 sons are here as well.
Yeah, amazing.
So Emmaus does all the dispatch side of things.
Okay.
And then Kayan, my other son, he does the production. So we're all, and then between us, we're all sort of working together. So it's really beautiful.
That's so cool that you're all here together.
Yeah, it is.
It's quite unusual these days for families to work together. So
yeah, I think it's not very common. You're right, and it is interesting because when you come into the workspace, it's not Dad. It's a little bit different, and that can be a little bit jarring, I suppose, because they see me as Dad, but then it's like, well, no, Dad's now
kind of the boss.
And we're running at a business here, and we're of a food standard, and like every normal food business, we've got we've got a foods, certain standard of food that we're required by the council, which we run, and you've got health and safety, and you've got all these things. So when Dad says something, it's not just Dad. It's like, no, we really got to, this has got to be done this way. So, but they're amazing. When we went to Ireland, they and Rumi, which is Oonagh son, was here. They all ran the place while we were away over in Ireland, and everything went really smooth. I mean, obviously, internet is amazing now. You can do so much. I mean, look at podcasts like what you're doing. It's beautiful. You can travel around and you can meet amazing people and share. And it's not like you have to have everyone come to you, or you have to turn up to everywhere. And then you can go from wherever you are, and you can be mobile in a way. So it's incredible, and I love technology that way. I'm a bit old school. The kids were all saying, "Dad, you have to be on Instagram," and I'm like, going, "Oh, what? Really?" I mean, I said, "Oh, I'm on Facebook." There, Dad, that's for old people. I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks very much." So so we've been doing a bit of fun things on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen any of them.
Only a little bit, I need to.
So, but it's just going back to what you're saying about having fun, and it was like, let's just have a bit of fun. Let's do some fun stuff. And it's, some people might say, it's a little bit, you're not very serious, but I can be serious. Trust me, I can do the serious.
And Cacao is a lot about having fun as well. It's sort of the energies that it brings through.
I mean, we do this. We call it a Cacao Connection. We're up in Auckland, and we had a group of people come in, and it's just basically about sharing about cacao, sharing about chocolate, sharing about experiences. And I was reminded when I was a young guy, I used to love, I'll say it, Whittaker's peanut snacks. And
another thing we grew up with.
We grew up with, which is for our listeners overseas, is a chocolate bar with peanuts on there. And I mean, they're still around today, you know. But the beautiful thing about that was, cacao was part of that ingredient, right? I mean, I didn't know that. But when I reconnected with the idea of that, I was like, well, that's where, I connected with chocolate. And consumed that. But so having these cacao connections that we had up in Auckland, it was beautiful to have people come in and share with them the whole story of what we do. So, very similar to what I'm sharing with you.
Nice.
We get to do, and then we play, we have fun, and that's where I was heading, that we have some fun. One of the ones we did here with Mark and I both being chefs, we said, right, we're going to do like a buffet.
Oh, nice.
So we got all the ingredients that we could get together that we thought, and things that we thought wouldn't go with it or would, no judgment, just bring everything in. And so we had turmeric, we had ginger, we had cayenne pepper, we had garlic, we had all these different ingredients, and then we had a whole lot of cacao brew made.
Wow.
And then we just said to everyone that was attending, no rules, have some fun, make your own brew. See what it's like. So
it does sound really fun.
Yeah, and I mean, people were. Someone made cardamom, orange, and there was another ingredient, but the cardamom and orange with the cacao was amazing.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And I feel like sometimes I had a brother come in, big Māori brother, friend of ours came in, and he was saying, we really want to connect with our feminine side, and I said, well, what do you think? And he goes, well, you guys, do you have a blend? And I said, well, we don't, but I said, it doesn't mean that you can't create that. I said, and feel into that yourself, like, what do you feel like, how do you feel? And I said, it might be, like I said, it might be orange, it might be,
rose or something
rose,
like that. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly, like, there's no rules. And I said, and ask your beautiful wife, like what she's feeling, and play with it, be playful. Because a lot of times we can get really serious, and life can be hard, and we can be serious, but sometimes I think it's that, we were talking the other day, my wife and I, is about connecting with the child, our childlike, and that's the fun side. And if you see some of the things on Instagram page if people want to have a look. And wherever you are around the world, which is the beauty, you'll see some fun things. You know, we just want to be playful as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And since you mentioned a man coming and asking about connecting with the feminine, I'm curious if have you seen cacao having an effect in men's lives, or because I think typically it's women who are first attracted to cacao, or like not first, but more usual for women to come into the world of chocolate and cacao. And I talk to women mainly.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious if you see a lot of men coming into wanting to work with cacao or enjoying it, and if there's like any thoughts around how that might be needed or helpful.
Yeah, that's a good question, and you're right. I mean, a lot of the modalities that I attend, if I go to them, and some of them are in support of what's going on. Like we have ecstatic dance, a bit of a plug, but you know, there's an ecstatic dance that we did a while ago, and we're doing one in December, and I think we did over 100 cups of cacao.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, we didn't know what we were heading in for, in a way. Everyone pre-bought them, but we were like, oh my goodness, you know. So we had about 3 massive big pots of cacao going.
Wow.
And the hardcores had no sugar, because one of the guys said, you know, it's good to have no sugar. And it was like, okay, we'll have a no sugar one. And they all came first. It was so funny.
Okay.
So all the no sugar were like, yeah, we're here for our cacao. And it's like, oh, no sugar, okay, no sugar, no sugar. So okay, that's great. But then to go back to your question, a lot of those in the ecstatic dance, it's a big community, so there was a lot of men involved, and so there's a lot of awareness of cacao for people in those areas. But in the general public that come in, not a lot of men are drinking cacao. Not a lot of men are really aware. We do get a lot that if they have health problems, they get sent along here. And Ngawai is amazing. She said some will come in, they go, I don't know why I'm here, but you know, someone said to come in, I've got this health problem, and it's so beautiful, you know, the big hardened guys, and you know what's going on here, and you're like, well, and it's beautiful because we're not here to just push sales or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're just like, well, what are you feeling? Yeah. And so we'll tell them the different blends.
Nice.
We'll say what we've got and how are they feeling. One of the things that we have done since we've come in is we've been really honouring, not that we haven't, but more honouring and focused on, instead of just blends like the Eiru, which are beautiful, and we have a maca, and that's really beautiful, but we've been also doing smaller sizes of the Vanuatu, the Solomon,
like pure origin. Yeah.
So that, because it used to be in a big 2 kilo block, and then someone would go, oh my, you know, like that's a big buy for someone that's not, you know, in that way. But then we also have some little pods that we come in, and then now I will make them a blend. So would you like to try one?
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, you know, what do you mean, you know? And so she'll make them up a bit of a blend, and they'll try it, and they're like, oh, that's really nice. And you go, okay, well, and so they'll happily walk away with whichever they choose. Yeah. So a lot of it is intuitively when they come in is what are they feeling? And it's quite interesting because they'll go, oh, well, I feel like I should get this one. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
You know? And so they'll walk out with their own blends. But sometimes people, you know, the guys will be a little bit, you know, like we had a policeman the other day come in. He was doing something in the area. I won't say what, but it was fine.
Yeah.
And he sort of said, oh, what's this place? You know, like he was really, he said, oh, and then, you know, shared with what we do. And, you know, there's pictures all on the wall about the islands and about the people. And he said, oh, this is amazing. You know, you have to come in sometime, you know. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you're welcome, you know. Yeah. Like, so, men do come in. I think a lot of men, you know, like I shared in the early stages, you know, they're dealing with ego, they're dealing with, you know, what is masculinity, and I really feel that as much as for the man to be soft, and it's not about being feminine, it's about connecting with love, compassion, you know, softness, You know, I mean, with your children, you know, little babies, you know, men are loving and hugging and kissing and cuddling and all those things, and we don't change. It's just that we don't show that part of ourselves all the time. And I think that's the thing where we need to. A lot of times is we don't do that till either the end of life when it's too late. We do it maybe when the kids are small, but we don't do it when they're growing up. So, you know, and then all of a sudden we stop doing that. And a lesson I I remember my oldest daughter, I said to her, look, you know, I just want to cuddle and hug you, but I want to be aware that you're now becoming a woman. And how do I do that? Because my heart is that I want to, you know, I want to still, you know, I've always cuddled you and hugged you, and you know, and how do I do that? You know, and asking her to how I can do that in a way that shows, you know, that also respects her in a way of her boundaries and her development and growing into a beautiful woman, but also that it's not, well, Dad doesn't love me anymore because he doesn't hug me.
Right. Yeah.
So it's allowing that to still be there and to be courageous, because that is the courage, is to be soft, to be loving. You know, why wait till you're at the end of your life to I wish I was more huggy, I wish I was more cuddly,
Absolutely,
but be that now.
It's true that it does take courage sometimes to open up and and I can imagine in that scenario. So do you think that Cacao can help men to open more and be courageous in those ways?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I've seen it from my own experience. Like I said, it really softened me and opened me up in a way. I mean, also it's in doing the personal work as well. Yeah. And I wouldn't say that I'm there, but I wouldn't also say that I haven't done work on myself, you know, to really work on some of those areas. And I've seen the benefit of that with, you know, my family. You know, and that's the sign, of that. To be having everyone still living at home. Yeah. You know, and they're adults. To have them working with them, to have a connection, and I think that's where the world is really going to head. Is that the strength is going to be in community. You know, I remember I was up on the hill one day looking around at a area where was being new houses were going to be built, and it's a beautiful walk. It's you know, and you're looking over it, and then you suddenly see all the fences go up, and I was sitting and reflecting about it, and I thought, they're telling you your boundaries before the house is going up. They're going to tell you your restrictions. They're going to tell you where you're going to go, and it's not a judgment. It's just an observation that's really where that is. And then sometimes we've really been conditioned for certain things and been told things, whether they're true or not true. And we picked up, you know, our parents have done the best that they could. No judgment, just an observation. But, you know, we have the opportunity to do more. Not because they didn't do great. They did what they could do. Yeah. But then to go, okay, how do we go further with this? Yeah. You know, and how are we an example? And then, you know, and then life gets to the point where now your children become your teachers. And are you willing to learn that, or are you going to be stubborn? And for me, Cacao has really allowed me to see life differently, allowed to see, even in the islands, you know, someone said to me, you know, so what are you teaching them? You know, and they were really, you know, so what are you doing over there? You know, what are you bringing?
Almost like it's like you're trying to brainwash them or something.
Yeah, like, you know, what are you doing that they don't know?
Yeah.
You know, and look, it's a great question. I'm not, you know, and I said, what is the impact of what you're doing? Yeah, right. You know, and I was like, that's a great question. I said, really, it's a sharing between us, between what they know.
They have a lot to teach.
Yeah,
as well.
There's so much. Yeah. You know, because we go there and we think we're teaching them. Yeah. They're teaching us.
Totally.
They're totally teaching us. You know, we have so much. And when you look at them where they don't have a lot from a materialistic point of view, but they have a lot in other areas. They're so joyous. A tsunami, not a tsunami, but an earthquake can happen and they can rebuild. And everything's damaged, but they have joy and they build it and they can build straight back up. We've come out of the earthquake and we're still trying to build up from that.
Wow.
So the question was, so what's the impact? And it was a really challenging question. I really had to think about that. I couldn't just answer it straight away. I said, look, I need to think about it. I said, that's a really good question. And I said, you know what? I said, the impact is all based on the heart of the person. I said, because really, we're not changing them. We're just sharing knowledge. And I said the impact of it, because they said, well, if you are they're benefiting financially by, say, implementing some of the suggestions for us so that their cacao could be of a better quality, for example, with maybe a tweak in a certain area. It might be, maybe harvesting a certain way, or fermenting the beans a little bit differently, or and Oonagh's got so much experience in this. Pruning the trees in a different way, and so that the trees respond. Singing to your trees, like Agnes and like we're talking about. Like having a relationship with them. And people might think, oh, that's weird, but no, we see the impact of these. And so, if someone was to, and I say, if someone is to benefit financially more from this. It then generally comes back to the heart of the person. What are they going to do with that? We hear it I remember in New Zealand, they say people that win lotto, most of them, end up worse off after than there. So what is that? It's based on their heart. It's not based on what they have or didn't have. It's based on their heart and what they do with that.
Absolutely,
And I always say more of something will actually, like say more money, will only reveal more of where your heart is at. Are you more giving? If you got more money, would you be more giving?
Yeah, I've heard it said that money amplifies who we already are. Like if you have a lot of money, it's just going to amplify where you're at. So
thank you because that is beautiful. That is a beautiful way to actually, how to say that, because it's an amplification, and I love that. I'm gonna thank you. I'll borrow that.
It's not mine.
No,
I know,
but it is, but it's true. And so really, that's all it's doing. But the impact on the children, on the generations, on the elderly people, on the family, on the villages, to be able to connect with their trees. So that they can make their own version of Milo, however that looks, cacao. They keep saying Milo, and I keep saying, okay, we'll call it Village Milo, but because that's what they connect with. And they know. But I really do see that it's really just it's the condition of our heart. What does that look like? And to be fair, that's the inner work. It's working on our heart, working on how we view it. And some people don't even do it till they even when they pass. But, people I know have died bitter and angry, twisted, and so they haven't done the work. So it's a life. It's constant life that we have.
And I think that applies to what you said about community as well. That we're heading towards needing more communal living, and it's probably a similar thing of the community is going to reflect all the hearts of all the people in the community. And I got goosebumps a little bit when you talked about noticing the boundaries going up on this. Was it a subdivision? Did you say?
Yes.
A new subdivision? Because the last person that I interviewed just a few days ago up in Blenheim, she was talking about how she and her partner have just bought a house right next door to her sisters who share land. And they're right next door now, and the first thing they did was tear down the fence in the middle.
Amazing.
And I was like, I love that metaphor.
Yes.
It's like, let's just take down the boundary and live together and help each other and they're all pitching in and doing the gardening, and it's really beautiful to see. So I love that. It's kind of funny that she said that, and then you're talking about the boundaries. I feel like there's a thread coming through. Yeah,
it definitely. A beautiful friend of ours came in on Monday. We technically not open, but we were here and they turned up, and she came in and she said, "Oh, I'm really thirsty. Could I have a drink of water?" And I said, Would you like a big one or a small drink of water?" And she said, "Oh, a big one, thanks." And I'm always a bit of a prankster. So we had this we used to have the coconut sugar, which was getting a big bowl, and it's about this big. I don't know how, it's
like a fish bowl.
Yeah, fish bowl. And I filled it up with water. And she's sitting there, and I came out, and her face, just as I brought it out, she just was like smiling, And so I said, "A big glass of water." And because she's going, I said, "You will not feel dehydrated after you drink that," And it was a sign of expansiveness,
right.
Why not? and people going, "How are you going to drink it?" She goes, "I'm going to try and drink it." And she did. She did really well. And she sat and drank out of it. But she got joy out of it.
Yeah,
it was
that's cool.
Expansiveness. It was outside there. And it was a great learning lesson, that we were talking about Ngawai and I the other day. But it's that kind of thing, is thinking outside the norm, having fun. Like pulling down a fence. People say, "Why would you do that?" And hey, I love that. I really love that. It's like, why not? Why not? Why are we held by these boundaries that are put around us? And if we can move them and expand into that, then let's do it. Let's go. So I mean, that's in the trips that we go to. It's very, what would you say, what's the word? Like there's villages and sort of chiefs in the areas. And so when people come together, you get a lot of different people from different lands, so that, and that's that breaking down of that also, because when they come into here, they have to overlook some of these kind of boundaries, because you're coming onto other people's lands. You've got guests that are coming in. I mean, we're the guests, from another country. And so it's bringing all these different people together, to work together. And that's sometimes they are. Different people, like, here you have Agnes and, you've got Grace, who've got years of experience. It's humbling to come and to learn off these beautiful women. But these beautiful women have got experience and are practiced in what they do.
Yes.
And so, sometimes it is a humbling, but if you want to learn, you have to be humble. So,
Well, it sounds like you've learned a lot coming in here, and I love that it's come from that first cup of cacao that brought you tears and it's like led you on this whole journey. And how many years has it been that you've been here?
It's so funny. I think it was something like August the 1st, because I remember seeing Oonagh paid for insurance, and I said, "Oh, you paid for insurance when I turned up here." It was a bit of a joke, So we have this going joke. So it was in August last year that I came into the business.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
It feels like you've been talking about years worth.
Well,
of journeys.
I've done a lot. Yeah, I've done a lot. We've been in Ireland.
We've been in heaps.
Yeah, we've done a lot in a very big time. So we've come in. I mean, the business, as you said, the Cacao Embassy has become its own business entity from the beginning of April.
Okay.
So that was when we basically started that. And what that was really, it was an acknowledgement of what we're doing here, and also acknowledgement of Oonagh as the Cacao Ambassador and what she does. And so the Cacao Ambassador goes out and does what she does, and that can be anyone that wants to join with her and do that, including us. So and also Oonagh's in partnership in the embassy, and the embassy's on the ground in New Zealand. We're supplying the people with cacao. We're supplying businesses. So that's that separation of who are we as a business identity.
Okay.
So it's really amazing. It's a really, we've seen some real, Mark, who brings his expertise as a chef as well. and he's based up in Auckland, and so he's connecting with lots of people and different, you know, in Auckland obviously population, but then you know, seeing different people and, you know, making, you know, different products with cacao. And cacao seems to be, you know, he said it's in everything, and it seems to be. We see it a lot more. I mean, I always say it's like when you buy a car and you think no one's got this car, and then you look and you bought it and everyone's got that car, right? And it's been a bit like that with cacao, you know, like I was like, never even heard of cacao, and now it's like cacao's in everything. It's in so many chocolate bars or health bars or smoothies or you know, so there's so many different applications that you can actually, you know, consume cacao. And so we look forward to, you know, if anyone has any questions, you know, we're always available and happy to answer anything in relation to supplying anything that people want, you know, like personal.
Because you bring in huge shipments of beans, right? Just for people who don't really know what you do. You bring in beans from Solomons, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu. Is that right?
So we used to bring in a lot of beans, we did. But now what we were doing is we work closely with a company called Rautini, who bring in a lot of the beans. And but also we bring some beans in now and then, so yes, we do. And so we bring, like you said, the Vanuatu, the Solomons and the PNGs, and there's beans coming in from everywhere. The other day, and just a side note, as I spoke to one of the people that came through, and they said, they're looking at growing cacao in India now. Which I didn't know.
I've had Indian cacao before.
Wow, and I was like, you know, like when you think, I mean, obviously, no, I'm saying when I think, I was like, I don't think is there going to be Indian cacao, you know? But there is, right? And it's I mean, like I said, it's in the Philippines, it's
anywhere
in all these
tropical, really. It can grow as long as it's the right altitude. I think it can grow all over the place.
Yeah, so that's there. So so we're bringing in Papua New Guinea, we bring in through the Solomons and Vanuatu, like we're certainly bringing a lot of the products that have been prepared in the islands for us, and then we're doing further production here of that. We're also buying the beans, like you said, because Rautini specialise in those, so it's really good for them to bring them in, and they sell them all around in big sacks. They're blimmin' heavy, but you know, they sell those and we buy those also, and so we're producing them and roasting and cracking and winnowing is some of the terms that you may hear. So we're doing those and preparing those brews.
And I know there's quite a lot of people around New Zealand who produce cacao who get their beans from you guys. Is that right?
Beans and nibs.
Kind of how many approximately?
How many people, customers? Oh, I don't, to be fair, but there are so many. Like, there's some really amazing, and I'm not going to name any in particular, but there are many, maybe. There are a lot of different chocolate makers, cacao blends, people making their own, and it's beautiful, and I love it. That's what I love about the connection. It's not just about what we're doing, but we're then on selling it, and then they're doing their own touch or magic, or putting their own bit on. And even, you know, people, like I said, someone comes in here and takes some away, and they make their own blends, and they play, and we just say, whatever.
So anyone can come and buy beans from you? Yep,
they can come and buy beans when we've got them available. I mean, they're not always available. But sometimes they come in and they're all gone really quickly. So, and that's what I mean. But they might not be available because they're selling. But, you know, it is a seasonal product. But like I said, it's generally around. But I mean, we're really fortunate. We've got lots of product coming in, and it's quite funny. One of our, talking about Instagram, my oldest daughter, she's really good. She does a lot of the videos and things. Cool. I'm not good at that, but she came in and she put it on. You know, this has all come in, and then someone said, "Oh, I've heard that's come in." And go, "Well, actually, we just sold. It's all been sold."
Oh,
you
wow!
Know, so it came in fast and went out fast, and I was like, "Oh, I'll have to watch out." You know, but there is. We have a whole lot of product coming in. Hopefully, the next couple of days, like I was sharing with you, and then a lot of it's already people are already ordering it and it's going out. So yeah, it's always moving. It's always available, and we're really fortunate that we can, be part of the supply and support the, people in the islands. That's why. I mean, we're doing the cacao side of things. Weave is doing the couverture chocolate, like we were sharing, and like you didn't eat all of it, but
I will when we finish.
I'm sure you will. I'll eat it if you don't. No. But they're doing that from it, and their point was more so because there's a lot of couverture chocolate. I don't know the volume. I know Oonagh probably would have shared it on her podcast of how much couverture chocolate's been brought into New Zealand from overseas. But we wanted to be doing that for the Pacific, and that's where our focus is the Pacific region. I mean, there's beautiful cacao all around the world, and but for us here,
it's the closest to home, isn't it?
It is. And look, it's all about that's the region that we're working in, and there's other companies doing some real beautiful work with other suppliers from other countries and loving it. We went to the Melbourne Food Show, and some of the other companies around the world that are doing cacao with other areas is amazing. And funny note, I can't remember the brand. I've got the card, but we had one of the guys was from the Philippines, around Thailand or Philippines, something like that. I can't fully remember, but one of them said go and try it, and I went over there and they had I think it was like tom yum chocolate.
Okay.
And it was a curry, and then they had a curry one and something else.
Wow.
And you tried it, and hand on my heart, I think it's over this side of the left, it tasted like a curry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it
was it good though?
It was great. It was, and I said, and the guy that had it he was American, and I said, tell me about the whole thing, and he goes, it's just having fun. He
Cool.
said, people come here, what are you going to take away from the area?
Yeah.
But he had chocolate, from cacao that was grown in the region to make it, and it's a talking point. I mean, we were talking about it. One of the other guys went over, he came back with 3 blocks of, he had banana cake and something else, and it tasted like Mama's real old bananas mashed banana cake.
Amazing.
And it wasn't fully, you knew you were eating chocolate, but you thought you were eating banana cake and chocolate. So, it was really, really amazing.
I can imagine some of those Thai herbs would be super good in chocolate, like lemongrass or kaffir lime, something like that. With
Definitely.
a bit of chili and some coconut.
Exactly.
That would be nice.
Yeah. You've got to make one.
Yeah, I might have to experiment.
Yeah.
I actually have some kaffir lime leaves in my little fridge.
In your little fridge. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There are no rules.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing where people try and put people in a box, right? In relation, cacao isn't like that. It's like have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coconut cream, kaffir lime leaves. A little bit of chili. And why not?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it reminds me of what we started with here is the Eiru. It's a little bit like that, and I have to say that made me feel very good. It's like I really felt it just go through and bring some beautiful energy. Very like uplifting but calming at the same time. And
thank you.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
It's a very good blend. I might have to get some more. I bought one of the little balls, but I'll have to get a block, I think.
Yeah,
well,
great. It is. I mean, it's one of those things where sometimes it's what do you feel like, and like I said, down the shop we've been giving away samples of it. Like we're always happy to give a sample if someone wants to come and try it if they don't know, because we just want people to be able to, purchase something that they, would like, rather than just go away and go, I'm not too sure, and how do you do it? Oonagh, a while ago, we've got a coffee machine down there that we never used, and we'd always just make a brew of cacao, and so we'd have them and hold them in flasks, and people come in and give them a free taste. There's nothing. But now what we've been doing is we've been making it with a steam wand.
Oh, lovely.
And man, it's like I've drunk more cacao now that they've put it through a steam wand, and Adair is really good at making them. And so it really gives it frothiness, like what the frothiness and the lightness. I mean, You can have cacao any way you want to, no rules. But it's been one of those things where we experimented and we came up with something like that, and anyone can do it.
So is that like just putting the water and the cacao in the cup and steaming it?
And steaming
with the same one?
yeah.
That's
and
it.
then, like you see in the coffee baristas, when it's come up and frothy, give it a bit of a tap, pour it in, and it's like a cappuccino because it has the beautiful froth on top.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we use a little bit of you can get those little whisks, like electric little
handheld ones.
Handheld. So she put some honey in and whisk it, and
nice.
and still get it, and it's just like divine.
It's very creamy and beautiful.
I love
Lush.
cacao.
Yeah.
But when we had that, I was like, oh yeah. And I'm always, my favourite at the moment has been maca.
Nice. Yeah.
So I've been, the maca and the cacao has been really awesome, and so. They said it's really good for your mental health. I think the kids are challenging whether that's helping me, but but I certainly love it, and it's been really, really amazing. And the flavour, and it's got a bit more butter. Like some have more butter than others, so we add cacao butter, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, nice.
And so
extra creamy.
Extra creamy, yeah. So that's been my favourite, but yeah. The Eiru is one of those pending. Every time I try it, it has different flavours come forward.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed with the complexity of flavours in it.
Yeah.
And I really felt the smokiness after you said that. And
yeah.
It reminded me sometimes of having whiskey. And when I used to live in Scotland in my 20s, and I had a few whiskies in Scotland. And there was something about it, like a smoky whiskey kind of.
Can you tell me those stories or not? This podcast. Yeah.
I don't actually like alcohol anymore, so that feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, well, it probably was. It's like me. It's been a lifetime for here. But interesting you said that. We had a lady from Lincoln College, and she does whiskey tasting.
Oh, okay.
And she tried the Eiru, and she goes, "Oh my goodness, that would just be incredible with a little bit of whiskey, or different, because that's what she,
Or have it alongside a little shot of whiskey and enjoy them together, maybe.
Yeah, I mean that was just her thing, and I was like, well, because when we spoke about the mead and serving it with it, she goes, I think I could do a different whiskey. But then again, there's no rules, right? You can have it how you want.
I feel like not everybody might know what mead is. It's not super well known, but it's a honey wine, isn't it, or a honey alcohol?
Yes, yeah. And so it's been something. I mean, we were getting Binrati from over in Ireland. That's how we started, which makes mead over there. We're doing locally sourced now with being in here. Yeah. I mean, we still source the salt and the marigold and a few bits and pieces from Ireland to keep, to do that. But in relation to the mead, it's the honey's really nice, and it's only a very small amount.
Yeah, so it's probably not really any alcohol in it.
It basically just evaporates, and with the heat of the when we're adding it in, it's just like you say, it's evaporating.
Just for the flavour.
But the flavour is certainly there, and and it is. The oak smoke comes in, and then all of a sudden you're going, I got a little bit of taste of the salt, and then all of a sudden there's something else, or a bit of dandelion root. So
amazing.
It's an incredible.
Beautiful. Well, I don't want to hold you up too much longer because we've been having a good chat. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
I could keep on going, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. But was there anything else that you wanted to share about the embassy at all that I haven't asked, or about what's maybe anything you're looking ahead towards for the embassy? Or
it's a great question. I mean, for us, we're looking at doing more with sharing about cacao amongst. I mean, a lot of times as we're doing a 2-day sort of, introduction to cacao, and so that was held here in Christchurch, and so we did our one away up in Auckland, which is really cool. And we had some, amazing people, and so it was really good to be able to share that in other areas, and people get to do that. But really probably just to, maybe have a look online at what we do, and not asking you to buy anything, but just have a look at what we do, keep an eye on, the opportunities that are coming up. If you want to know more about cacao, reach out. I'm always keen, and our team are really keen to share whatever, if anyone wants to ask anything. There's no silly question, I say. So, really happy to answer any inquiries that way. And if we're in your area, come and join us. And if you really feel, obviously there's a lot of people that love cacao that listen to your podcast. If you want to come on an adventure, including yourself, encourage you to come and join us.
To the islands.
To the islands. It's beautiful to be a part. Like you've said, you've seen that in different countries where you've gone and experienced that. But love it.
Not quite to the extent of like staying on the farms. I've done a couple of tours in Central America, but just day tours.
Yeah.
So actually,
well, that's still beautiful.
I
any opportunity to participate at any level is great, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's the connection with people, and that's what we are. I mean, the connection with the trees, the earth. Connect with the people. Like we're talking about connecting with our food. It's all part and parcel of it. And so any opportunity where that comes, I always say get out in the garden. It's amazing what you learn when you're out there. I used to. My dad used to take me out there and get me doing gardening and weeding, and I just used to think it was painful as a young kid. But now I really see the benefit as someone of just that knowledge being shared, and probably wish I'd retained some of that. I retained the memory of that, but the knowledge of that. But definitely, there's a lot of people around there with some really amazing experience, farmers, communities, people, grandparents, parents that love that, and I encourage everyone to connect with that and, learn more about the food that you eat.
Yeah, not just cacao, but all of it.
Yeah, everything, and cacao.
Yeah.
But exactly, definitely.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. I've really enjoyed this
welcome,
conversation.
And
I've been quite curious to learn more about the embassy. I've wanted to get down here for a while, so it's exciting to be able to come and sit and hear all of these stories.
Thanks for coming into this space, because you bring a beautiful presence.
Oh, thank you.
And, joy.
Thanks for having me.
Joy, and thank you for what you do. Of sharing that with people through these, through podcasts and just want to acknowledge you as well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, it's one of my favourite things is hearing people's cacao stories, so I love it. But I also want to thank you guys for what you do, because I think it's really amazing to be... I love the way that the Cacao Embassy and the Cacao Ambassador encompass so many aspects of the world of cacao, and there's so much about community, connection, healing, returning to the earth, uplifting the farmers. It's just like you cover all the bases and more.
Well, we're all of that, right? And everything that we do, so that's who we are as people. We're in that spiritual place, but we're also a physical body, and so we connect with all of that. And so that's what we want to do. We want to connect with every part of everyone. We just don't want to be there. I mean, we deal with the chefs that just want to buy cacao, like me, that don't know anything about it. And if we can, if there's an opportunity to share with them, then there is. And if there isn't, well, they're helping whether they, genuinely know it. But, we build up a really good relationship with people, and we get to share our stories and the impact that we're having, and they love being part of that.
Cool.
And then we have the people that really want to connect on that medicinal, spiritual level, and we can do that as well. So
amazing.
Thank you for your acknowledgement of that.
And I love to think too that even if people are not aware of what's behind what they're drinking and eating, that the frequency of it is still having an effect on them in their life, even if they don't know it. Well,
like we started off with, here's this guy just drinking cacao and crying over
it's had a pretty big effect on your life, I think.
Well, if it can affect me, it can affect anyone, I suppose. So No, beautiful.
Well, I have one last question for you
Sure.
that I like to ask everyone at the end, which is this podcast is called Loved by Cacao. And so I love to ask, do you feel, or how do you feel, loved by Cacao?
Wow. I do feel loved by Cacao, yeah, I can definitely say that. And how do I feel loved? I feel loved by it because I see Cacao from every aspect, from physical to spiritual to from the very roots of being under a tree and feeling that presence to sitting here on a podcast, on an electronic podcast, drinking a brew of Eiru with someone I've never met before, and the connection that's made. So, you know, here's to a ongoing connection with you, and here's to an ongoing connection with Cacao and being loved by Cacao.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and yeah, that feels like a beautiful place to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Thank you to everyone listening, and hope you take away some beautiful Cacao inspiration from this conversation, and blessings on the rest of your day.
To each and every one, thank you.
Thank you for opening your heart here and listening today. Please subscribe to keep getting episodes in Apple, Spotify or YouTube, and please share this podcast with your cacao loving friends. You can follow us on Instagram at Loved by Cacao. Please take care of your heart and may you feel loved.